Hey guys, I hope you had a great long weekend, and I really hope, most of all, that you were able to get outside a little bit this weekend and enjoy the weather that we had. At least it was not freezing. That was kind of awesome, even if we did have some rain. So, let me talk to you about this week. So, this week, by the end of this week, we are going to have a writing sample done. And I know that's going to freak some of you out. And then the other part of you are going to be really excited because we haven't done a lot of writing lately, but I just want to give you the forewarning that by the end of this week, we are going to have an informational writing piece done, like a full multi paragraph informational writing piece. So I just want you to know where we're headed um, so that there's no surprises along the way. So today, you're going to read and annotate two passages on a place called Machu Picchu. Okay. So you're going to read both of the short passages and you're going to annotate them. That's going to be step one towards our informational piece, which is going to end up being about Machu Picchu. On Tuesday, you're going to answer some questions about the reading when we are live in a Google form. We'll kind of go over the passages first, talk about them a little bit, and then you'll do the Google form in class on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we are going to plan out the writing. And then Thursday is a late start. So Thursday, you're going to work on drafting it, okay, which is really going to be the writing piece of it. And then Friday is going to be first chapter Friday. So let's kind of dive in and let me show you what I want you to do. Okay. So there's two passages about Machu Picchu. Source number one is called The Stones of Machu Picchu, and source number two is called The Historic Sanctuary of Machu Picchu. Now, they're both about Machu Picchu, but from two different perspectives. One kind of talks to you about the guy who, quote unquote, found Machu Picchu, and the other one is much more of a article kind of about why it's an important place to protect as time goes on. So, what you're going to do is you're going to read both of these and you're going to annotate. Now, what do we want you to annotate? Well, we want you to annotate the three big questions for nonfiction. We have literally worked with these all year long. So, you're going to annotate what surprised me, what did the author think I already knew, and what challenged, changed, or confirmed what I already knew. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you have to have all three of these annotations. You might have nine of these and two of these, or you might have five of these and two of these and one of these, or you might have two of these and five, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to have you tell us which one you used. These are just the three things I want you to be watching for. What surprised you? What did the author think you already knew? And what challenged, changed, or confirmed what you already knew? And you can pause the video here if you want to take any notes on this. It may not be a bad idea to write down those three big questions and even some of these sentence stems to kind of help you, like, oh, okay, so for this one, I'm supposed to do something I was confused about. And for this one, wow, I couldn't believe. And for this one, oh, yeah, I was right or I was wrong about that. That may kind of help you as you go to annotate, but that's what we're going to be asking you to annotate for are the big questions about the story, because when we're looking at an informational piece, it's important to notice things that you didn't know, that's new information, or anything that might be confusing to you. So let me show you what this looks like. This is going to be what your Google Doc looks like. And right at the top in red, it says directions. Highlight a big question and then annotate to the side. So your big question can be any of these three things. Okay, doesn't matter. You don't even have to tell me like which one it is. You're just going to annotate it. So as you read this, let's say you're reading and you come across this part right here and you think, oh, wow, that really surprised me, which obviously, if you look at what I highlighted, that doesn't make sense, but I'm showing you this as an example. So you're going to come up here and you're going to pick a color to highlight it. Whoops, I totally did the wrong thing. Sorry. Highlight. There we go. And then you're going to come over here and add comment. This is where you're going to annotate. So you can say something like, it surprised me that, or something like that, or what does this mean? Okay. Or it could be like, I was right about that, something like that. Okay, that's how you would annotate for a big question. So let me get rid of that so as not to confuse anybody. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to annotate both of the texts by highlight, and then click the add comment right here. And then that's going to allow you to annotate to the side, just kind of what your thinking is. All right. I'd like to see about 10 annotations between the two stories. So 5 and 5 would be a good place to start, because that's really what drives the leading us to the important parts of the article, right? Anything that stands out to you usually ends up being something that's pretty important and is going to help us in our writing piece when we end up writing about Machu Picchu. So make sure you do part of the hard work now, which is your annotations, because it will help you in the long run when we go to write our informational piece on Machu Picchu. Okay. So here's the first story. This is source one. And then you'll be able to tell source two starts here. So then you're going to read source two, and you're also going to annotate that one. Okay, it looks long, but it goes pretty quick. So you are going to, one more time, you're going to read both of these, source one and source two, and you're going to annotate with the big questions. Again, I would write these down, take a little note so you remember what kinds of annotations you can be looking for. And I'd like for you to aim for about 10 annotations. A lot of you will get a whole lot more than 10. If nothing else, there's a lot of words in here that you may not know, something you may want to look up so you understand like who they're talking about or where the location is or anything like that. Okay. Now, one last thing. It is incredibly important that you do this work every day this week. You cannot get behind. If you get behind, it is going to be next to impossible to catch up. And I'm just telling you that because I'm giving you fair warning. You've got to do the work each day because each day builds. And I promise you guys, if you get a day behind, it's going to be a disaster. So please try and keep up with us. Do each piece one day at a time so that you aren't left with trying to do something that's almost impossible to do, which is making up days because you got behind. As always, I'm here to help. If you need me, just come to office hours, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help. But today, all you're doing is reading your two texts about Machu Picchu and annotating them. That's it. Alrighty. I'll see you guys live in class tomorrow to work on the Google form, to talk about some of our annotations, and to answer some questions about the text to make sure that we're really understanding what it's about. Because if we aren't, then we need to make sure we do, or else the writing of the informational piece is going to be pretty hard, as you can imagine. All right, you guys, have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.